Namaste and hello. Welcome to the Art of Yoga Project. My name is Lynn, and thank you for taking the time to practice with me today. In our class today, we're going to work with the theme of respecting ourselves and building a bridge to power. So we'll be practicing some back bends and some ways to strengthen our back. And always listen to your body. Feel free to modify or skip anything that doesn't feel right. So let's begin with a warm-up. Coming to a standing position, we're going to practice a breathing exercise called rain stick breath. So step your feet wide apart, turn the heels of your feet in and the toes out, and then you'll take your arms and you're going to inhale. As you bend your knees, reach your arms up, palms of the hands can touch, and then exhale through your mouth. Shh. As you straighten your knees and bring your hands to your heart. So we'll repeat this about 6 to 8 times, and it's okay if you're breathing at a different rate than me. We'll all finish in a minute or two. Okay, so inhale through the nose, bend the knees, and exhale. Shh. You can cross your arms as you bring your arms down in front of you. Inhale, reach the palms up. Exhale. Shh. Change the cross of your arms as you circle them below. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Shh. Two more times. Last one. Then heel toe your feet back in. And we'll come to a seated position, just doing a little check-in now. Okay, so if you have your journal, you can bring your journal over if you have a pen or pencil or a piece of paper, and we'll just take a moment to check in. If you don't have a journal or any paper, just think about the check-in question. Okay, so today's check-in question, if you have your pen ready, you can write this down. Take a moment to think about a time that you felt empowered. So when did you feel empowered? And just take a moment to think about that, how you felt a time when you were empowered. And then just take a moment to think about how you're feeling right now, physically, mentally, spiritually. Just noticing how your mind, body, and spirit are right now before we begin the practice. And then when you're ready to begin, just finding again a comfortable seated position on your mat. And you can have the legs crisscrossed if that's comfortable, or you can sit with your knees together, sitting on your feet, however you feel more relaxed. If you always cross your legs the same way, then change your crisscross. And sit up tall. You can roll your shoulders. Create length in the spine, so trying to sit up as tall as you can. Relax the shoulders down away from the ears. And then notice if your chin is lifting. Try to keep the chin neutral, drawing it down so the back of your neck feels long. Good. And then we'll take the right hand onto the floor and inhale the left hand up. As you exhale, start to side bend. Okay, and you can notice the difference if you side bend to the side or if you lean forward as you side bend, maybe trying to lift the ribs up towards the ceiling. And breathe. Press your sitting bone down into the floor to anchor yourself. And notice how your neck feels here. You might look down at the floor. You might look up towards your arm, your inner arm. See how that feels on your neck. Take one more breath here. And then inhale as you come back up. We'll switch sides. So bring the left hand to the floor and inhale the right arm up. And again, notice if you're leaning forward versus opening up your ribs. So lifting the ribs up, drawing your shoulders down instead of hiking the shoulders up. Try to relax the shoulders away from the ears. And breathe fully. Good. Anchoring your sitting bone down into the floor. Take one more breath here. And then inhale back to center. We'll do a little twist. Inhale here. Exhale as you turn to the right. You could bring your left hand to your knee or your thigh. And breathe. Inhale back to center. And exhale, twisting to the other side. One more inhale here. And exhale back to center. Change your crisscross, so put the other shin in front. And then inhale, reach your arms up, interlace the fingers, and notice which thumb is on top. You might even look at your thumbs. My right thumb is on top. Press the palms up towards the ceiling. And again, maybe lift the shoulders and see how that feels around the neck. It's kind of tight. Try to create space around the neck by drawing your shoulders down. And just breathe. Lifting the ribs up so the organs have a little more space. Good. 2 more breaths. On your next exhale, slowly release the hands. Good, and we'll repeat that, and this time change and put the other thumb on top as you interlace your fingers. So my left thumb is on top this time. Press the palms away. Inhale, reach the arms up. And again, if the shoulders went up, just try to encourage the shoulders to come down. Trying to straighten the elbows. And breathe. Okay, you can gaze forward, or again, if there's space around the neck and it feels okay, gently lift your chin and relax the eyes, relax the gaze. Feel the lungs expanding with the breath. Good. One more full breath in and out. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, slowly release the hands. You might feel some tingling in the arms, and that's normal. Okay, we're going to come onto all fours now, taking cat-cow. So cat-cow, the hands are shoulder width apart. Spread your fingers, your knees are hip distance apart. You can tuck your toes and lower the belly and send your sternum forward between your arms. Lower your shoulders again like a turtle. Think of the neck growing longer out of the shell. And avoid lifting the chin. So I have a little, I don't know if you can see this, but I have a little, it's a little candle holder that's shaped like a lotus flower. And I have it right here at the front edge of my mat to remind me to gaze there. So when I start to feel distracted, I tend to have my gaze, focused. It helps me stay concentrated on my practice. So inhale here, Then exhale, flattening the feet, rounding the back one vertebrae at a time. Drawing your chin towards your chest. And you can press your hands into the floor as if you were pushing the mat away. Good. Tuck the toes, lower the belly. Inhale as you send your chest forward. Maybe pretend like you're pulling your hands back. And maybe feel the upper back engage, the shoulders. 2 more breaths like this. And then come back to neutral, a neutral spine. And we're just going to take our right hand and reach up. And exhale as you thread the right hand behind the wrist, bringing the right shoulder to the floor, right side of the head to the floor. You could stay here and just breathe. Again, notice if the shoulders are hunching near the ears, try to spread your shoulders back. I lightly press my hand into the floor. If this feels okay, you could take this a little deeper by bringing your left hand behind you so the knuckles are on the lower back. And think more about this space here along your collarbones, broadening the collarbone. Good. If you can reach the hand farther, you keep walking it over towards the right thigh, lifting and opening the chest. Good. Take one more breath here. And then exhale, coming back to center. Reach that same right arm up one more time. Press the left hand into the floor, especially your index finger knuckle. Push that down. And then exhale back to all fours. Take a breath here, center yourself. And then we'll inhale the left arm and turn the ribs. So you're turning your whole rib cage. Instead of the shoulders hiking up, try to move your shoulders down your back. And as you exhale, threading your hand behind the right wrist, left shoulder to the floor. Okay, breathe here. Maybe picking up your right hand and bringing the knuckles behind the lower back. And again, notice if the shoulders are dropping, move the shoulders back. Create space here along your neck, along your collarbones. Maybe bringing your hand to the front of your left thigh. Feel the breath. So your hand is on your body. Can you breathe where your hand is? One more breath here. And then release. Bring your right hand back to the ground. Reach the left hand up one more time. Press your right hand into the floor, especially your index finger knuckle. Good. And exhale back to all fours. So we're going to come into child's pose now. So if you want to stretch the back in child's pose, bring your knees together. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, press your thumbs down into your hip creases and send your sternum forward. Okay, so you're pushing your thighs down. And then bring your hands out, stretched in front of you. Let your forehead rest on the floor. If for some reason it doesn't rest, that's okay. Sometimes it's hard to get the head down. You can always put a towel, a rolled up towel under your forehead. Some people, the hips won't reach. That's okay. Just be where you are today and breathe there. I'm going to stay for 3 more breaths. Again, push the floor with your hands. Notice the breath against your thighs. Good. One more inhale, and then we'll exhale, lifting up the hips to TP pose, tucking the toes. Good. You can bend your knees, stretch your back by pressing your hands into the floor. Bring your ribs toward your rib cage towards your thighs. Good. Maybe pedaling your feet one at a time, stretching the calf muscles as the heel goes to the floor. Good. And then we'll come back down onto the knees. Okay, so you're gonna flatten the feet. You might walk your knees back a little bit farther away from the hands. And we're gonna come forward into a modified plank, right? So our knees are on the ground. You could tuck your toes if you wanted to go into full plank. I'm gonna lower my knees. And we're just gonna chaturanga all the way down to the floor. So keep your elbows hugging in, your shoulders back so your neck is long. Look forward towards the front of the mat and go all the way down to the floor. Flatten the feet, spread your toes so all 10 toenails are pressing into the floor. Good. Breathe here, press the floor down with your hands, draw your elbows in, shoulders back. Keep your chin down slightly so you're looking straight down at the floor. And then inhale a little more, lifting your chest up. Keep drawing the elbows in, straighten your knees. Press your feet into the floor. Good. Take one more breath like this. And then exhale, make a little pillow with your hands. Turn your head to the side. Bend your knees, flex your feet, and rock side to side. And we'll come back to center. Straighten the legs again. Make sure the feet are about hip distance apart. Pick up one leg and lengthen it. Pick up the other leg and lengthen it, like you're reaching your feet back. So they're reaching to the back of the room. Good. And then this time we're gonna come up onto our elbows for a Sphinx pose. So walk the elbows back under the shoulders and press your whole forearm into the ground. And imagine again that you're pulling, that your whole forearm is moving back, right? You're grabbing the floor and you're trying to pull it back so your chest comes forward. And breathe. Again, activate your legs by straightening your knees and pressing the tops of the feet down. Draw your navel in so the belly is strong here, okay? Because we are back bending a little. We want to keep our abdomen strong. Good. 2 more breaths. And then release as you come down this time. Make a pillow. Turn your head to the other side. Bend your knees. Flex your feet. Spread your toes and rock your knees side to side and just breathe. Good, and then we'll come back to center and we'll press our hands into the floor, come all the way back to child's pose. Okay, so you might need to walk your knees forward a little. This time, if you want to stretch your hips, open your knees a little bit wider. And then sitting back on the heels, resting the forehead. And coming back up, all the way up. Okay, so we're going to go on. Before we go on to our backs, we're going to come to a seated position with our legs in a straddle. Okay, so you're going to open your legs wide and flex your feet and spread your toes. So if you feel like your back is rounding and it's hard to sit up tall, then bend your knees a little. Okay, inhale here and exhale, we're going to side bend. So you can decide, I'm going to side bend. I'm going to try to mirror you, so I'm going to side bend to the left. You can side bend to the right if you're facing this way, okay? So when you're ready, inhale, reach your right arm up, and then exhale, side bend. So you're going to get a nice stretch in the side of the body. Good, breathe. Some of you can straighten the knees. Good, inhale as you come back to center. We'll go to the other side. So reach your arm up, keep your shoulders down. Inhale here and exhale as you side bend. And this hand can be on the inside of the thigh or on the outside, wherever you feel more comfortable. So you're reaching up and over. And breathe. Just breathing lots of space here. Good. Inhale as you come back to center. We're going to come onto the back now for some bridging. So have your feet about hip distance apart. Check and look at your feet, because sometimes when we go back into our back bend, our feet are turning out to the sides. They're turning out or they're turning in. They're not lined up. Sometimes they're off a little. So look at your feet on your mat before you lay down, and then try not to move them once you lay on the floor. So they're parallel, okay? And then laying back onto the floor, you can move your shoulders in, away from your ears. Again, collarbones are broad. And bring your hands down onto the floor. Palms of the hands can face downward. We're just going to press the heels of our feet down into the floor. You can lift your toes and stretch them. Press the heels of the feet down and lift the hips up. And feel the backs of your legs, your hamstring muscles engage. Okay, breathe, holding the pose, digging your heels down into the floor as if you're trying to move your feet towards your head. Good. One more breath here. And then slowly come back down. So if that was really easy and you didn't feel anything in your hamstrings, to make it more challenging, you can walk your feet a little farther away. Don't go too far out. And look at your feet again to make sure that they're parallel. And then once again, inhale, lift up, dig the heels into the floor. So I feel my hamstrings. They're starting to shake a little. So this is a way that you can strengthen the back of your body, the backs of your legs, just by bridging up and down, building some strength. Okay, one more time. Again, adjust your feet where you feel comfortable. I'm going to walk mine back in. Inhale as you come up, holding the pose. Notice your breath. So let your abdomen soften as you breathe in. You might see it rise and fall. Good. 2 more breaths like this. And then slowly come back down. Okay, so that is bridge pose. If you want to add on and stretch your shoulders a little bit deeper, you can take your hands underneath of you. And one option is just to press your elbows into the floor. As you inhale and lift up, you can bring your hands, like spread the fingers and press the whole upper arm between your elbow and your shoulder down into the floor. See how I lifted my chest a little bit higher? You can do that. Some of you might be able to lift your heels off the floor and slide your thumbs underneath of the back of your pelvis. Okay, if you can get your thumbs back there comfortably, then bring the heels of the feet back down again. So your thumbs are helping to tip your pelvis. And just hold this and breathe. If it feels okay in your chest, if you can breathe in your throat, in your neck, feel nice and safe, then stay for a couple more breaths. If it doesn't feel good, feel free to come down. Good. When you're ready to come down, release the hands, come down slowly. And then the next one, you're welcome to repeat what we just did. The next one is to interlace your hands underneath of you. So you really need to walk the shoulders in a lot. Straighten the arms. Inhale, lift the hips, and then find your hands underneath of you, interlace them, and straighten the arms. So I actually move my shoulders in. I kind of walk on my shoulders to get them a little bit closer. And then breathe. Press the heels of the feet down. Tip your pelvis. Similar to how it felt when you had your thumbs underneath of you. Breathe. One more breath. See if you can soften your throat and your tongue. If your tongue is glued on the roof of the mouth, let it go. And then slowly release the arms. Take them out to the sides, coming down as slowly as you can. Okay, you can draw your knees in if you'd like. You could put the palms of the hands on the knees and draw some circles. And change directions, go the other way. So if you want to explore wheel pose, it's a deeper back bend. The first thing you have to think about is your neck and your wrists. So if you have any injuries or pain there, I don't recommend wheel pose. But if you feel like your neck and your wrists are okay today and you want to try it, then we'll start similar to bridge pose. Check that your feet are parallel. And I like to sort of touch my ankles to know that they're walked in, because if they're far away, it's really hard to lift up into bridge. So your feet have to be in kind of closer. And then you bring your hands next to your ears so that the fingers are pointing at the feet. Okay? Once you're here, make sure the elbows are not going out to the sides. Squeeze the elbows in so they stay right over your wrists. And you're going to inhale, coming onto the crown of the head, pausing. You could watch me first if you want. And then, only if it feels right, you straighten your arms as fast as you can. So I'm going to do this now. Give me a second and watch if you'd like. So I come onto the crown of the head, check in. My neck feels okay. And then you're going to straighten your arms and your legs. Okay, and if you can get here, then you stay and you breathe. If it doesn't feel right and you want to come down, bend the elbows, gently tuck your chin so you come on the back of the head to come back down. And then just pause for a couple breaths. You can take your feet really wide apart and let your knees rock together. Bring your right hand to your lower belly, left hand to your heart. And just notice how you feel. Did the pose bring you any feeling of power or responsibility or strength? And then when you're ready, you can straighten your legs, coming into your Shavasana pose for today. So you could have your legs straight, or you could keep your knees bent. Just let the feet flop out to the sides, the palms of the hands facing up towards the ceiling. Again, walk your shoulders away from your ears. And then either closing the eyes or just gazing softly over the tip of the nose. Relaxing the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Relaxing the eyebrows, the space in between the eyebrows and the forehead. Relaxing your shoulders, your arms, letting the fingers curl naturally. Relaxing the abdomen, just letting the breath flow freely. Relaxing the legs, letting them feel heavy and flop out to the sides. Relaxing the toes. Staying here for a few more minutes. Just breathing naturally. And I'll read you a little poem as you rest in your Shavasana. It's an excerpt from the Bridge poem by Donna Kate Rushin. This bridge called my back. The bridge I must be is the bridge to my own power. I must translate my own fears, mediate my own weaknesses. I must be the bridge to nowhere but my true self, and then I will be useful. Slowly start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, and deepen your inhalation. As you exhale, you can bend your knees and roll to your right side. You could extend your right arm and rest your head on your arm like a pillow. Just take a moment to appreciate your mind, your body, and your spirit. When you're ready to come up, gently pressing the left hand into the floor, coming up to seated. Take a moment to notice the effects of your practice today. Thank you for practicing with me here on the Art of Yoga YouTube channel. Thank you all for showing up. The light within me sees and honors the light within you. Namaste.